Hey there, my name's Luke. I'm a musician here in Nashville, and today I want to talk about the top string set voicings for drop 2 chords. And I have a previous video talking about drop 2 chord voicings on the 5th through 2nd string, and today I want to talk about the voicings on the 4th string through the 1st string. These chord voicings I use often to create some nice voice leading, and noticing that the top note of the chord, so in this example for Autumn Leaves on the A minor 7, flows nicely to this D7 chord in the second measure because it shares the top note there. They have that same note in common, leading to the G major 7, going by a whole step. So that's the general idea. When it comes to using drop 2 chord voicings, wanting to create some smooth transitions from chord to chord. I go more in depth than this on my other video, my previous video, but today I wanted to share the specific voicings I use on strings 4 through 1. So now for this first example, I'm going to be in the key of C, and I'll be showing you all the dominant chord voicings, so dominant 7. The notes for dominant 7 chord are the root, so 1, the 3rd, the 5th, and then the flat 7. So I'm going to show you just all the different chord options that we have there on string sets 4 through 1. So that was pretty quick. I'll go ahead and show you the first chord here. So this is a C7 chord. Again, starting with the 4th string through the 1st string. And the numbers for that are going to be, so we have E, which is the 3rd of the chord. So 3, flat 7, 1, 5. So we have E, B flat, which is a flat 7 in the key of C. C, which is the root, and then G, which is the 5th. So that's our first chord voicing, or I guess you would call that the first inversion, because it has the 3rd on the bottom of the chord. The next inversion we have starts on the 5th. 5, 1, 3, flat 7. Those are the numbers for that chord, and I feel like this is a pretty easy chord to grab because you're just barring across all 4 strings and then putting your middle finger on the 1st string. So far we have first inversion, second inversion, and then here's the root and the bass. So we have 1, so we have actually the flat 7, so it's not the root, my bad. So flat 7, 3, 5, and then the root 1 on the top. And again, that's also a pretty easy chord to grab because you're just barring and then putting your middle finger on the 3rd string. And then finally, here we are at the root and the bass. Here's the root. 1, 5, flat 7, 3. So out of these, all of these different chord shapes, here we have different options. It's good to know all of the different positions. So I usually like to think of this shape being associated with the root being on the 2nd string. And then from there, I kind of think of this cage system shape, classic C major chord. I see as barring that top half there and adding that flat 7. Then from here, I think of this cage system, or cage shape. I guess you consider that the E chord with the root on the 6th string. I think of like the top half of that, and adding the 7th. And then I look at the octave, to getting that root position, dominant 7 chord. So with that information, we can alter each note, kind of like what I talked about in the previous video, to being whatever chord we want. So if we want to look at this from root position, we have the 1, 5, flat 7, 3. If we want to make that a minor chord, we could just lower the third. And again, I'm altering my fingering and using my pinky to play that 5th instead of my 3rd finger. If we want to make this a major 7, so we have 1, 5, flat 7, 3, we could just raise that flat 7 to major 7. We can look at this original chord shape that we were looking at here. Same thing. So we have the 3rd, the flat 7, the root, and then the 5th. So let's say we want to make this C minor 7, flat 5, or half diminished is another name for that. So we would find the 3rd, so here's the 3rd, lower that, and then we would find the 5th, and lower that as well. So as I was going through Autumn Leaves, I found my A minor 7 here, because I think of this shape here, which again is flat 7, 3, 5, 1. So I know that 3rd has to be lowered. I just have that as a minor chord. So it goes from A minor 7 to a D7. Again, hit the root, I'm thinking on the 2nd string, which is a whole step up from that first example of a C7. So in the context of the song, we have an A minor 7, D7, and now we have a G major 7 coming up in this next measure. So again, if I wanted, I could think of root position, cage system, E shape chord. I know that all I have to do is bar, put my middle finger down on the 3rd string to get my dominant chord sound. But I want this to be a major 7 chord, so I'm taking the flat 7, making it a major 7. Everything else stays the same to keep that major 7. So I have A minor 7, D7, and then G major 7. Now I go ahead and I could move up to this C major 7 chord shape, really pretty sound. And then I could bring it down to F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And what I figured that out of is just this dominant 7 chord shape. That's what you have if you lower the 3rd and the 5th, which flows really nicely to a B7. And then from there, I found just a normal E minor chord. So I was basing that off of the minor triad. So there is no 7th in that, it's just a minor triad with the root and the bass. So again, the whole song, slowly, A minor 7, D7, G major 7, C major 7, F sharp half diminished, B7, E minor. All right, hopefully that was helpful. And just to kind of take these string sets, really work them into your fingers. I would recommend practicing them just with the one quality shape. So quality meaning what type of chord it is. So just a dominant 7 chord is the first shape that I started off learning. So cycle through with your C7 and really understand the numbers and the order that they're in. So I know that this is the 3rd, flat 7, 1, and then 5. And that way, once you really know the numbers, then you could really arrange them to create whatever chord quality you want, whether that be a minor, or if you want it to be a major 7, you could just raise it up from wherever number that you know that you have to adjust. So in that case, that would be the flat 7, raising it to a major 7. From there, so if you looked at my previous video, you'll have the string sets 5 through 2. Now you have the string sets 4 through 1 when it comes to the drop 2 chord voicings. And from all of that, you could just combine the two to create some really nice voice leading, create some different sounds, and really vary up your comping or arranging. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, or you could reach out to me through my email on my website. Please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you can subscribe, that would really mean a lot to me. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.